let's get live on TikTok. And then let me put something on my broadcast channel real quick.
You're just Tyson Smith, right? Everywhere?
Yeah, at Tyson _ well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wish that all of my links were homogeneous, but unfortunately they're not.
To be great, but...
Yeah, I want just at Tyson at everything. But the people that are trying to sell me, like, just the Instagram name alone, I'm like, bro, what? Get out of here. They're like, yeah, I would need 75 grand. It's like, well, no, I'll pass.
I'll just change my name then.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, what's going on, everybody? Guys, we're getting started over here. Same game plan as last week. If you guys were here last week, which we're about to do a recap of, we're going to be calling some leads live. We're going to be closing deals. We're going to be making money, and we're going to be showing you how we do every single step of it. What's up, guys? I see we got a ton of people joining already. That is lovely. Can't see your name. What is that? I read. What's up, dude? How much is that on Insta? Like 45K? I don't know. Tyson Smith, probably not that much, but Tyson is expensive for some reason. What's the best way to underwrite a property and know what makes a good wholesale deal? We'll get into that, Danny. So, in fact, guys, everybody watching on TikTok, I'm also live on YouTube. It's a much better viewing experience because you can actually see my screen. You can see the houses that I'm looking at. You can see my calculator. You can see how I'm analyzing them, everything like that. So, I highly recommend you guys move on over to YouTube if you're serious about learning this and if you're serious about getting the most amount of knowledge as possible. But, first, let's talk about last week because we did this exactly 1 week ago with LeadZolo, and I want to go in and show you guys this property. Now that I have it under contract and memorandums are filed and none of you guys can steal my deal or mess around with it, I'm going to show you all of the specifics on the deal. So the property in question is this right here. It's in Quincy, Florida. Hold on, I got to move. Okay, it's in Quincy, Florida. Now, the property from the outside looks fantastic, right? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,500 square feet. And when we originally got on the phone with the seller, whose name is Tequila, very sweet lady, she says, yes, I'm interested in selling this property. I own it free and clear. And she said, look, I'm not taking anything less than $150,000 for it. And I said, okay, well, let's go through. Let's talk about the property. Let's talk about the condition. And then let's see if that's something we can do. And she said, all right. So as we're talking, she starts to explain to me that this property had a big fire. There was a fire incident in the property a couple of years ago, and it burned down the roof in many portions of the property. And I was like, oh, okay. And then what I did was basically I used a tactic where I wanted to get her to sell herself on why this house was worth as much as she thought it was. Because I said, okay, well, have you thought about fixing the property up and selling it? And she said, yes, I have. And I thought, perfect. And I said, okay, well, do you have an idea of how much you would sell it for if you did fix it up and do that? And no, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead of myself. She says, yes, I did think about doing it. I talked to a contractor and they said it'll cost me 120 grand, which is perfect because somebody's actually quoting her the real price of what it's going to cost. So she has realistic expectations, which is not something you're going to get every single time. When so she says, yeah, it's going to cost me 120 grand. I said, perfect. Now, when you fix it up and you sell it, what do you think it's going to sell for? And she said, anywhere between 270 and 300. And I said, well, okay. So if you're selling it for 150 and we both agree it's going to cost 120 grand to fix it up, and then I sell it for, let's say, the high range of what you're thinking, 300,000, am I going to lose money? And then she thinks about it for a second. She's like, no, and I was like, well, think about it. If I sell it for 300, I'm going to have to list it with an agent. I'm going to pay closing costs, realtor fees, everything like that. Am I going to lose money? And she said, oh, yeah, it probably wouldn't make much sense. And I said, okay. So that was win number one, is we got her to understand her property. The price she was asking is unrealistic. So then we get into it, and I say, okay, look, based on the current condition of the property, everything, if we're to pay all the closing costs, there's no realtor fees, we buy it as is, what's the best price you could do? And she says $125,000. So she drops $25,000 from one question. And I said, okay. So if that's something we could do, is that something you're ready to move forward with today? Now this is a step that so many people skip and it's so important. But I have in my closer script, which by the way, I always have pulled up, I'm always looking at while I'm talking to people. I have right here this entire section on getting a commitment, okay? Guys, I'm very, very intentional on making sure that this person says that they are going to sign a contract with me if I can get them the price they're looking for. So I get a commitment from her, and I say, okay, let me go ahead and run this by my underwriters. I'll give you a call back. Let's see if we can do $125,000. At this point, I start to actually analyze the property. So what I do is we have the property pulled up, or I've got the property pulled up on Zillow. I see it's a 3.2, 1,500 square feet, and I know it's going to need a fuck ton of work. The first thing I need to do is understand what market am I in. And I'm in Quincy. I'm in Quincy, Florida, which if you don't know, is on the panhandle of Florida, outside of Tallahassee. Now, we have some good things going on here. Number one, outside of Tallahassee. Tallahassee is a very large metropolitan area. Quincy's about within an hour of it, so we have buyers that buy in Tallahassee that will also flip properties here. The second thing that we have that's good is that if we go and we filter this by homes, and we look at properties that are only 1,750 square feet and less, that are for sale right now, here's what we find. There are quite a bit of comps that are for sale. And when we come look at these properties, the vast majority of them have been updated. That one hasn't, it's on the water, it's different. But this property right here, very close to our property, very similar. A perfect ARV comp that is for sale for even more than what we're expecting, $325, right? There's so many of these different properties that are very close. And we go to sold, which are even more important comps, we see more of the same. 3.2, 1,600, sold for $298. 3.2, 1,500, $285. Okay? $275, $275. So I ran my numbers at $275. And here's how we did this. We go into this calculator, which by the way, guys, if this is all a foreign language to you, I'm doing a free class tonight. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It starts in 3 hours. It's after we go through and call more leads, where I'm going to be showing you guys step by step how to go get your first deal. Everybody can sign up for this using the link in my bio. By the way, again, everybody that's watching on TikTok, I'm doing a complete review of a deal on my YouTube live, where you guys can see my entire screen. You can see all the numbers. You can see exactly how this is playing out. Anyway, so we know that the ARV is $275,000. We know the property is 1,400 square feet. Okay, we know this is going to need one hell of a remodel because it's fire damage. So we're going to use $60 a square foot. We're going to estimate $90,000. Okay, and we're going to even give more investor profit. Okay, we're going to bump this up because this is going to be a very big project, right? Somebody's going to have to put a lot of time and money into this house. And when they sell it, they're going to want a return because of the amount of work that's required. So we're really beefing up our investor profit here. But as you can see, if the property sells for $275,000, which I've just showed you overwhelming evidence that it will, right? After they pay closing costs, which are going to be about 5%, this is where they list the property with a realtor. Now they're going to get a good deal because they're a professional flipper and they have a realtor who lists all their shit and they do it at a discount. So they're only going to be paying about 5%. They're going to be paying about $3,000 when they buy it from me, right? Because I'm making the end buyer pay all the closing costs. They're going to put $90,000 into it. They're going to make $55,000, assuming that they sell it for $275. They're going to pay about $2,500 in interest, meaning if they buy it from me at $110,000, they should stand to make a $55,000 profit. That's a damn good deal, ladies and gentlemen. So I have some very good things right now. Number one, I'm underestimating my ARV. Number two, I'm making sure that I really have a clean estimate on my repairs. And number three, I'm building in a lot of investor profit. So now when I'm going to talk to cash buyers about this deal, I have a lot of arguments of why they're going to make money if they buy this from me at $110,000. Okay? So I know that my MAO is $91,000 going in to call, the seller's name was Tequila. I know that I have a lot of evidence, right, when I call her, or I'm sorry, I know that the most I could pay is $91,000. So do I call her back and do I offer her $91,000? Of course not. No. The first thing we do is fucking lowball the shit out of her. Because then when we move our price up, it looks good. And we already have a large gap to close. Remember, at first she was asking $150,000. She moved down to $125,000. Now we're still $35,000 apart. So what I do is I call her back. I give her my spiel about, hey, we got your property approved. I reiterate all the benefits of working with me. You get to pick your closing date. We're buying the property as is. You don't have to clean it out. You don't have to make any repairs. We pay the closing costs. There's no realtor fees, da-da-da-da. Right? Reiterate all of that again so she understands how much she wants to work with me because it's going to be the easy button. She's not going to have to worry about a thing. And then I offer her $74,000 is what I did. She says, oh, no, I'm going to have to think about $74,000. I'm going to have to think about that. And I said, well, listen, Tequila, the good news is once we get your property approved, it's just a matter of making the numbers work for us. Now, I know that I can make the numbers work upwards because I purposely went below my max allowable offer. I say it's just a matter of making the numbers work, right? Now, look, I understand you're at 125. We're at 74. I feel like that's a gap we can close. Do you think there's somewhere we can meet in the middle? And she says, the lowest I'll do is 100,000. So what do? Number one, I get another commitment from her. I make sure that if I can send her an offer for $100,000, that she's going to sign that contract. Okay? And she says, yes, if you can do $100,000, we'll go ahead and move forward. Now, keep in mind, I know all day long I can sell this property for 110. Meaning, if I lock it up at 100, I'm still going to make $10,000. But that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is fucking amateur hours, bush league. No. We're not buying Ferraris by fucking doing that shit. So I go in, and I say, okay, let me put you on hold, da-da-da-da. We sit there, and I call her back, and I offer her $91,000, because that's my MAO, because I want to make $20,000, because I know that the value I provide is worth that. So I call her back, I offer $91,000. I say, listen, I went to bat for you. I got an extra $17,000 for you. Okay, this is the best offer we're going to be able to do. We can't go up anymore. This is our highest and best. This is a great deal for you. You know the property's in bad condition. Let's go ahead and get it done. She says, all right, let me get my son on. Let's make sure it's okay with him. We talk to him. He says, okay, let's do it. Go ahead and send over the contract. I review the contract with them. They look over everything. They say, hey, we're going to have our friend look at this. I say, no problem at all. Let's just go through it together. I go through it line by line with them. They do not give a fuck what the earnest money deposit is. They don't give a fuck the property's assignable. They don't give a fuck I can market my contract interest. They don't care that it says at the very end that I'm a wholesale buyer and I'm going to make money on the property. They don't care about any of that. You know what they care about is that it says that I'm going to pay her $91,000 and the closing date is going to be this month. That's it. Okay? They did have a question about my inspection period. They wanted to reduce it by 3 days. I said, no problem. I have $100 EMD. I don't really care if the inspection period is short. So, boom. What happens then? We get a signed contract to buy the property. Okay? As you'll notice, filled out. So, we get the property under contract. What's next? Well, in the time from last week to today, I have gotten photos of the property. And I spoke to a friend I have out in Florida, two friends I have out in Florida that do a lot of deals out there. And I said, hey, I got this deal. You want to take a look at it? I'm going to sell it for $110K. They looked at it. They said, that's a great deal at $110K. Let me do you one better. They said, we'll list this for you for $124K. They said, we'll list it on the MLS as it's under contract, as an assignment. Not every single realtor is willing to do that, but they are. And so I just got sent a listing agreement for the property for $123,900. So, fat deal there, and keep in mind, this was done last week. Now, let me give you the specifics of last week. Last week, LeadZolo sent me a list of, 10 leads. I called 7 of them. That is $350 worth of LeadZolo nationwide leads I called. I only talked to 2 people on the phone, and the only reason I talked to the second person is because I was just fucking dicking around. Right? I already knew that I had moves to make with Tequila, and I just wanted there to be a longer period of time before I called her back, so she thought that more planning was going on in this. That was not the case. Okay? We got that deal under contract. We're going to make over $20,000 on it, and it was through $350 worth of nationwide leads from LeadZolo. Okay? So if you guys want to be able to do that, number one, go to LeadZolo, click the link down below if you're on YouTube, book a call with them. Get set up on their platform. Number 2, sign up for the free class I'm doing tonight where I will show you how to take those leads and turn them into signed contracts that you can then go sell to a cash buyer. On this free class, I'm also going to be showing you exactly how you can go find cash buyers, right? Anyways, we're going to go get some more deals today. We're not done yet. We haven't even done any live cold calls. We're just talking about last week, but I don't like to live in the past. I like to live in the future. So we have more deals to find, okay? We have more deals to find, okay? Now, let's go through. Let's get on the phone with them. Guys, quick little reminder. If you guys are watching on TikTok, I'm also live on YouTube. If you'd like to see my screen, you'd like to see all the properties I'm talking to, you'd like to see how I analyze these properties and everything else, you're going to want to go ahead and go to my YouTube channel at Tyson_Smith and tune into the live over there. When do you talk to a title company? As soon as I got the property under contract, I send an email to a title company opening up escrow. How do you find out? How do you get the APN when assigning the purchase contract? The county assessor's website, or if you have batch leads, it has it right on there. Yo, what's up, Braden Van Wagner? How you doing, bro? Guys, Braden is a star student. Yo, Dustin, what is up, dude? Dustin's my neighbor. Studio looks sick. I appreciate it, bro. Good to see you, Dustin. They're going to list it with fire damage? Yes, James, we're listing it with the fire damage. Can you fix the mic a bit? Sounds muffled. Does it? I don't think that there's anything else I can do to fix it, bro. I'm sorry. That is something I'll have to work on. All right, tonight are you going to teach us how to find deals? I'm going to teach you how to find deals. I'm going to teach you how to find cash buyers. I'm going to teach you how to find title companies. I'm going to teach you how to underwrite deals, which means to figure out how much you can pay for it, how much you can sell it for. I'm going to teach you the 7-step process that you can follow to go get your first deal, okay? So hit the link in my bio, get signed up for the free class. But that starts in what? That's 2.5 hours from now. So instead of sitting around twiddling our thumbs, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some more money. We're going to call some more houses, okay? And looks like the first property we're going to call is in Whitsett, North Carolina. I don't know where Whitsett is.